Some people say revenge gives closure. They never talk about the part where it eats you alive. I never thought I'd be the type of person to plan revenge, but sometimes life doesn't give you the choice. My name is Ethan, 23, a quiet guy who mostly kept to myself. I wasn't popular, I wasn't flashy, but I believed in kindness. That belief shattered the night my girlfriend of 3 years, Rachel, betrayed me. Not with a stranger, not with some fling. She cheated with my own best friend, Dylan. I found out by accident. Her phone lit up on the nightstand while she was asleep. I didn't mean to snoop, but when I saw Dylan's name with the words, "Last night was perfect," I swear something inside me broke. I didn't confront her right away. No, that would have been too easy for them. Instead, I smiled, acted normal, and quietly burned with rage. I wanted them to feel pain, not just a slap on the wrist, but something they'd remember for the rest of their lives. That's when the idea came. Dylan had always been insecure about his career. He worked at his dad's car dealership, a dead-end job he pretended was temporary while he chased dreams of being a musician. Rachel was his biggest cheerleader, telling him he'd make it big. Pathetic. So I decided to take his dreams and crush them. I created fake social media profiles, reaching out to Dylan as a music producer from Los Angeles. I told him I was scouting small-town talent for a new indie label. Dylan fell for it instantly. He sent me demo after demo, voice notes, lyrics, like a desperate kid begging for validation. Weeks passed, and I strung him along, hyping him up, feeding his ego. Finally, I told him I was flying in to meet him for a live audition. He bragged to everyone, Rachel, his friends, even his dad. On the day of the audition, Dylan showed up at the rented studio I had set up. I recorded everything, the trembling voice, the off-key notes, the pathetic performance. Then I told him the truth. No label would ever want you. You're a fraud. And Rachel? She laughed about how desperate you are. I've been her boyfriend the whole time. The color drained from his face. He looked like I had ripped his soul out. I didn't stop there. That night, I uploaded the videos to every local forum, Reddit threads, and even sent them to his father. Overnight, Dylan went from up-and-coming artist to the town's biggest joke. Rachel begged me to stop, but the betrayal in her eyes only fueled me more. I dumped her, of course, but not before sending Dylan one last message. This is only the beginning. At first, it felt good, powerful, like I'd finally taken control. But what I didn't know was that my revenge was about to spiral, far beyond anything I'd planned. At first, the rush of revenge kept me alive. Every time Dylan's name popped up online, it was followed by mocking comments, memes, and laugh emojis. People I didn't even know were tearing him apart. Rachel tried to reach out, crying, begging me to delete the videos. She even showed up at my apartment one night. Her makeup was ruined, her voice hoarse from pleading. "Ethan, please, you've made your point. Dylan's broken. You don't understand what you're doing to him." I slammed the door in her face. She didn't deserve my pity. Neither of them did. But then, something changed. A week later, I got a text. Not from Rachel, not from Dylan, from a mutual friend, Liam. "Bro, did you hear? Dylan tried to, end things. He's in the hospital." I froze. My hands went cold. My chest tightened, like a vice. I wanted revenge, not this. I rushed to the hospital, heart pounding. When I got there, I saw Dylan's parents in the waiting room. His mother glared at me with pure hatred. His father, normally a stone-faced man, looked like he had aged 20 years in a single night. I didn't go inside his room. I couldn't. That night, lying in bed, I stared at the ceiling, replaying everything. The fake profiles, the humiliation, the look on Dylan's face when I told him the truth. And now, him lying in a hospital bed because of me. For the first time, the fire of revenge didn't feel warm. It felt suffocating. But then came the message. Rachel again. This is your fault. If Dylan doesn't make it, his blood is on your hands. Something inside me snapped. She wanted to blame me? After what they did to me? No. I wasn't going to carry this weight alone. So I crafted my final act of revenge, not against Dylan this time, but against Rachel. I leaked the screenshots of her texts to me while she was still with Dylan, the late-night I love you messages, the ones where she said she'd never leave me even while she was sneaking around with him. I made sure Dylan saw them, and that's when I realized revenge wasn't just destroying them anymore, it was destroying me too. The fallout was nuclear. Dylan cut Rachel out completely, even from the hospital. Her reputation collapsed. Friends ghosted her. She dropped out of college a month later, but instead of satisfaction, I felt hollow. At work, I couldn't focus. At night, I had nightmares of Dylan's pale face and Rachel's screams. I'd wake up drenched in sweat, shaking, asking myself one question over and over. What if he hadn't survived? The answer was simple. I would have been a murderer without ever laying a hand on him. And yet, a darker part of me whispered that maybe, just maybe, he deserved it. I thought exposing Rachel would make me feel better. For a few days it did. People who once saw her as the sweet girl next door now whispered behind her back. Dylan wouldn't even look at her, but while their lives crumbled, mine didn't get better. It got worse. I stopped eating regularly. My phone buzzed nonstop, but I ignored everyone. Some Reddit threads praised me for the perfect revenge. Others called me cruel, heartless, a monster. I told myself I didn't care, but deep down, every word burned. One night, I went for a walk past Dylan's house. His car was gone, but the lights were on inside. Through the window, I saw him sitting with his mom, thin and pale, but alive. She held his hand, tears running down her cheeks, whispering something I couldn't hear. That image cut me deeper than anything. Dylan still had someone to hold him, someone who loved him despite everything. Me? I had no one. The truth hit me hard. My revenge hadn't healed me. It had isolated me. I wasn't just punishing Rachel and Dylan. I was punishing myself. A few days later, I finally got a message from Dylan himself. I know what you did. I know you ruined me, but I'm still here. Can you live with what you almost caused? I didn't reply. I couldn't. Instead, I sat down at my desk and opened Reddit. For weeks, I had been lurking in r pro-revenge and r-nuclear revenge feeding, off the stories, convincing myself I was the hero of my own. But as I typed, I realized this wasn't triumph. It was confession. I told it all, every detail, every lie, every manipulation, how I tore Dylan apart, how Rachel fell with him, how I nearly destroyed 2 lives over betrayal. I didn't glorify it. I didn't brag. I laid bare the ugly truth. Revenge doesn't fix heartbreak. It only spreads it. When I hit post, my hands shook. Within hours, comments flooded in. Some called me sick, some sympathized. But the one that stuck with me was short, simple. Sometimes, the worst revenge is living with what you've done. That night I finally cried, not for Rachel, not for Dylan, but for myself, for the version of me that believed kindness mattered, before bitterness rotted me from the inside out. I don't know if I'll ever forgive myself. I don't know if I deserve to, but I do know one thing. I'll never confuse revenge with justice again.